Hello everybody and welcome back, and right now let us see how we can actually make our file or our reverse shell to be an image, or not to be an image, to actually open an image once a target double clicks it. So we want to make a reverse shell that actually can open an image as soon as it is clicked on. So let us see how we can do that. Now on my USB drive I have right here this image right here, .jpg, and we will try to make our target execute the reverse shell and also open this image at the same time. So let us see how we can do that. We can simply do that by going into our reverse shell.py, but let me just remove all of these screenshots from the previous video, also dist -r and also build -r. So we should only have these two files, and let us go into the reverse shell.py. Now we need to import something called sys. Now since we already did import it, this is where we are going to use it right now. So let me just see, we need to go all the way down right here. And what we want to do is right after we actually call the registry function, we want to create basically a file which will store the image that we will actually plug into our reverse shell. Now how do we do that? Well, basically what we want to type right here, so we want to type here name, which will be the name of our file, and we will use a regular path to the sys underscore me ipass, which basically creates a temporary folder which will store this image. And we can call it, we actually need to call it the same as the name of the image. So let me just plug in my USB drive, since I will need my image in order to compile it with the program. So open files, we find the image itself. And what we want to do is I want to move this image to the folder where I have my server and reverse shell. So I will just copy the dragon to the root, Python programs, and then reverse. And then I can exit this since I have it right there. But actually I just need to also, I need to also copy the file of that image. So Python reverse ls, and just copy the file, the name of the image that you want to use, copy it like this. Now I can close it, and then you paste it right here, and then you add the additional double quotes. So you need to add this right here. This will use a temporary PyInstaller folder with the name of the image itself. So it will store it right there, and as soon as target opens it, it will open this path right here. So what we want to do is actually open that path so the target opens the image. So we do that with the subprocess.popen, and we want to open the name, which is the path, this path with this image right here, and we want to type here regularly shell equals true. Then we close this, accept, and here you can basically just type here any code you want. For example, I don't know, number equals 3. Now this is just some part of the code which doesn't really matter, so this will do if the code before doesn't work. And let's say addition equals number plus number 1. Now this is basically, you can just type here anything you want. I just typed here this. This can also help in preventing some antiviruses, since they can basically notice there are some regular functions in there. Now this is just not really that good of a function, but I just coded anything for the accept rule. So if the opening of the image doesn't work, it will just perform this and it will continue with the regular connection. So right now, basically all we need to do is compile the program so it can actually contain the image itself, and when it prints the image into this directory right here, it will then open the image with this command. So this is all we need to specify right now. Let us Ctrl O, exit this, and let us try and see how we can actually compile this with this image right here. So let us use wine root .wine drive C Python scripts pyinstaller.exe, and what we want to do right now is add the data. Now this we can do with this command right here, so --add -data, and under the double quotes we need to specify the path to the image that we want to add. In my case it is root Python programs reverse and then the dragon .jpg, and it will close the quotes. Now before you close the quotes, there are some syntax for PyInstaller, so you need to add, before the second quote closed, you need to add the comma and dot. Let me just find it. Where is it? Here it is, so this comma and dot, and you also need to add the dot after it. So you need to have this at the end. Let me zoom it in so you can see it even better. So this is something that you need to have before ending the command. Right now, let me zoom out since this is too big. We want to add the regular things such as one file and no console. And right now, if I compile this program, it should have, let me just see, PyInstaller, too few arguments. Not really sure what it means by too few arguments. Let me just check it out right here. Add data, root Python programs, okay. One file, no console. Not really sure why it says too few arguments. Let's try to actually delete this. Maybe this is something that we need to specify right after we plug in the icon. For now on, let us just use this. Invalid add data or binary value. Let's try with this. I'm not really sure if I remember the syntax correctly. Okay, so let me just try it like this then. Wine, root, drive C, everything is good. pyinstaller.exe, add data, then the path, then the dot right here. I believe that is the syntax. If it is not, I will have to check it out. One file, and then no console. Okay, so this doesn't seem to work. Now we will try to make it work with the icon as well. So I will just add the icon to the file. Now, in order for you to create the icon, in order for you to make the icon of a program, just go to your Firefox. Maybe that is something that we need to specify. I was going to do that in the next video, but we can do it right now as well. So go to the website called https://convert ico.com/jpg to ico. So it will lead you to this website where you can upload an image, and what this will do is it will create the ico file, or basically the icon for your image. So we can click right here to upload it. Let's click right here. Let's go to the root, then go to the Python programs where my image is, reverse, and upload this image. And then we can, okay, so it finished. So you just click here on the right side, it will be the icon which is created from your image. You just click this arrow right here, so download this icon, and it will download the icon for us. We want to save it, then we want to check out in which directory it is, so we can use it in our command. We can see that it is in the downloads directory, so we will specify that path once we specify the icon option in our pyinstaller command. So we know that it is in the downloads directory. we go back to here. So we use the same command as before that didn't work, so just specify add data and then this with the dot and the comma and then dot after it, then one file, then no console, and after that you want to specify dash dash icon and then the path to the icon, which is root downloads, and then the name of the icon itself. Now I just noticed that the reason why this didn't work is because we didn't even specify the file that we want to actually compile. It didn't have anything to do with the icon, so you didn't have to do this part. All you had to do after the no console part is just type here reverse shell.py. But since we already did this, let's continue with it. We have the icon saved in the downloads folder, which is the icon for our file, and right now after it we want to just specify the name of the file that we want to compile. So we have everything specified, and if I just click here enter, it will start compiling our program while adding the image and also adding the icon for our program. So you will see that we will have a program that will have the icon of the image and that will also open the image itself once we actually click or double click it on our PC. But since we do not want it to open the image every time, so for example, once we create the persistence, we do not want to make image open. That's why we coded this part right here. Just so py. That's why we coded it to open the image in the lower part if this OS location doesn't exist, which means that this is running the first time, which means it should open the image. Now any other time that this is running at a startup after the reboot, it should not open the image and it will not open the image, since this part of the code is only under these circumstances right here. So every time after the first time, this image will not be opened anymore by the target, which is good. So right now what we want to do first of all, in order to see if the image opens correctly, we want to first delete the first file from our app data and then go to roaming, and then if I just type here, let me just show you dir, and delete the backdoor.exe. I will exit this program since I need to also delete this in the registry, so just type here run, then regedit, OK. It will ask for administrative password, and what I want to do is just delete this backdoor, so delete it. Deleting will, are you sure you want to permanently delete this value? Yes. Now make sure to not delete anything else, since deleting the wrong thing can actually make your computer crash and your Windows not work anymore, so be careful while using the registry edit. So all we have to do right now is run our program. First of all, we will run the server, listening for incoming connections. Then what we want to do is actually copy from another terminal the executable to the media root Kali. Once we copy it there, we want to exit this terminal, we want to unplug the USB device, enlarge this. Hello everybody, and I had to split the tutorial out of technical problems, so right now let us just continue from where we stopped. So I will just run my reverse shell once again, or pardon me, my server, in order to listen the connections. So let me just run it. It prints out listening for incoming connections. I will enlarge this. Oops, it's not there, it's here, so zoom in. And right now this is the file that we received after we compiled it and after we added the icon of that image, and also once we run this, this should actually run the image first. So we should be opening this image and also opening our reverse shell in the background. This should also install a persistence right away in the roaming folder and also the registry key in our Windows registry. So let us go right here. Go to the command prompt first before we run it in order to check if everything worked well. So app data, cd roaming, and we can enlarge this. We can also go to the registry. Let's run, then regedit. We click here yes, and we can see that there is nothing named backdoor right here. So let us run this program. We click on it and hopefully it will open the image, and also it will create a registry key for us in the registry. So let us wait for this to open. It doesn't seem to actually open anything, so if that doesn't work, we will have to redo this, but sometimes some images won't really open. Let us see if at least our registry was added, and we can see our registry is added right here. So reverse shell.exe, let us see if we received connection. We did, but for some reason our image didn't open, so let us try something else. Let me just go to my task manager so I can delete or close the program. Let me just find it. Here it is. I end task. And let's actually delete this as well and try to compile once again. So let me just go right here. You remember that we turned our image to be an ICO, so we should just be good to go right now. So wine root.wine drive C python scripts py installer .exe. Then we add the data for the image. Since we want to open it, we go to the root python programs reverse and then this image right here. But before we do that, let us see if we correctly specified the name of the image itself in the reversed shell. So before we run this, let me just close this and go to the reverse shell.py, and let us see if there is any problem right here for why our reverse shell didn't really work. And there seems to be the problem. So we need to have a / right here in order for it to be able to find our directory with our image. So right now we added the / right here and the name of our image in our directory. So let us save this, and right now let us continue with this command. So remember, after the specification of the image path, you need to specify here dot and comma and then dot. After that, what we want to do is we want to actually go and specify other things as well, such as one file and no console. And we also want to add the icon that we converted in the previous tutorial. So root downloads, I believe, and then dragon.ico. This is the path to where we saved our image icon. And right now we want to specify the name of the file, and we should be good to go. So I will click here, enter, and let it compile. And in the meantime, I will plug in my USB drive. Now let's plug in the USB drive into the Kali Linux. We should delete the previous reverse shell so we don't confuse these two. This one should work. Now the previous one didn't open the image because we didn't specify the / or the / in our reverse shell.py. So let us open this in terminal and delete the reverse shell.exe. Now we can close this as well. We can open this. We can see that the compilation has finished. Let me just see why this terminal didn't close. Okay. And right now we go to our this directory and move the reverse shell.exe into media, root, and then Kali live. Once we move it, we can now delete all of these files. And we can start our server. Now we can unplug our USB drive as usual. We open everything right here. We paste it to desktop. As we can see, it looks exactly the same as in the previous one, just this one should open the image now. But before we actually do that, we need to delete the previous backdoor.exe. Since if we do not delete this and also the registry, this will not open an image, since it only opens the image once it is being ran for the first time. So let us delete the backdoor, exit the command prompt, and also let's delete the registry key. So click here, delete this value, and right now if we run this, right now we should actually open the image itself. As we can see, it looks like a legit image, where it just takes a few seconds to load. So here it is. it opened the image, and this should look pretty normal for our user or our target. They click on an icon that actually has this image, they also double click it, and it also opens this image. Now most of the users do not have their extensions on their PC, so they will not be able to see .exe here. And even if they do see .exe, most of the non-technical people do not really know what executable means, and they will probably think it is some glitch and that this is an actual image. But let's see, did we receive the connection? So we did receive the connection. Right now, if I just type here who am I, we can see that we can execute the commands. And the good part right here is that it actually doesn't open the image at the boot, even though we got the registry right here. Here we also install the registry, and next time the system reboots, it will not open an image. It will just open the reverse shell, which is good. So we got a fully working reverse shell right now, which opens the image, which also has the icon, and which can actually trick some users into running it. Now the next thing we want to do in the next video is I will show you how you can actually check if the user ran your program or your backdoor on the administrator account. If they did run it on the administrator account, we can actually put our registry key inside the local machine, which will allow us to actually have a persistence on every account on that machine. The H key in the current user registry actually only gives us the persistence if the user logs into the same account next time. But if they log in, for example, into administrator account, we will not be getting the reverse shell back. So we want to first check out if the user is admin, and if they are admin, we will actually install it in the local machine. If they are not admin, we will install it in the H key current user. So more about that in the next video. This was about it for now. I hope I see you in the next video, and take care. Bye. Hello everybody and welcome back. And right now let us add a function that will allow us to check if our script is actually being run with the administrative privileges or with the simple user privileges. Now this can be useful in order for you to know what your available options are. We will code in our reverse shell a simple one-letter command, or pardon me, one-word command, which will just be, for example, check for the check privileges, and we should be prompted back whether the user that we are currently running the script as is an administrator or not. Now I have written a simple script right here in Notepad. This simple script right here, first of all, it imports the OS library. It has a function called the hasAdmin. Now you can call it anything you want. Basically what this function does is it will check if the admin, if the user that is running this script is having the administrator privileges, or if the script itself is having the administrator privileges. How it does that? Basically we first of all create a global variable called admin, and then we try something that will actually check if the user is administrator. Now that something is basically accessing the temp directory in Windows. Now you might be asking, why are we actually accessing the temp directory? Well, basically in Windows, once you actually access the temp directory, that means you have administrative privileges, since simple users can't really access this directory. So what we perform right here is the check of that directory if we can access it. In case we can't, as we can see right here, except the admin variable will be set to false. In other case, where we actually can access it, the admin variable will be set to true. So now then we actually run the function once the user of our server actually executes check command, then the function will perform the check right here, and also we need to set the if administrator equals to true. Then we will send back to our server administrative privileges. If it is not true, we will send user privileges, so that the user of the server actually knows whether the shell is on the user or administrator account. So let us implement this in our program, but before we do that, let me actually show you how this works in a simple command prompt. So we open a command prompt as the user, then we go to the desktop where I saved this script, and I will just Python this script, so check.py. what I get back is user privileges. So it went through this code, it ran this function, it noticed that with the user privileges it cannot access this directory, which is the temp directory, and then it set the admin to false. Then this loop right here checked if admin is true. Since it wasn't true, it printed out user privileges. But right now, if we go and run the command prompt as the administrator, so right click right here, then run as the administrator, click here yes. Then if we go to the same directory, let me just find the script that I saved, so users, then the account name, then the desktop, and then I Python this program once again. We can see that right now it says administrator privileges. So this program works. All we have to do right now is implement it in our reverse shell and in our server. So let us do that. So let me open this like this, put it to the side. Let me nano the reverse shell.py. We can see everything here we already have set as in the previous video. We can see all of our functions that we already coded, and let's right here code the function isAdmin. Now, whether you call it has or isAdmin, it doesn't really matter. You can call it anything you want, as I said. And right now, all we want to do is just basically copy this program right here. So global admin is our variable. Then what we'll do is we will try to perform the check of that directory. So OS is the library that we will use for this. We already used, for example, this part right here. Whoops. Let me just open this type of brackets, and this part, os.environ, we already used before. So this is a little bit of a bigger command. That's why I am copying it from here. So C / and then Windows. We close the apostrophe, we close the brackets, then comma, and then open apostrophe, temp, closed apostrophe, then closed square brackets, and then closed two normal brackets. So we can move this so we can see the entire actual command, and here we perform the check of the directory. If it can't go to the directory, we set the admin to be false. If it can, we will do that with else. Admin will be set to true. So let us do it like this, to true. So now let us enlarge this. We do not need to see the rest of the code. Right now, all we have to do is go to our while true loop, basically the shell loop, and let us go all the way down here. And let's actually perform another else if statement. So else if command, and then first, for example, 5 letters, since that is how much check has, equals to check. Then we added the 2 dots right here. We will actually try to execute the isAdmin. So isAdmin, I believe that is how we called it. Let me just check it out. We execute the isAdmin function, and what we want to send is basically, or we actually want to send back the admin variable, but right here we will not name it false and true. We can just name it something like this: admin equals user privileges, and here admin will equal administrator privileges. So we set the admin variable to be a string, and right now we will send this string to our server. So let us go down here. So try isAdmin, and then reliable send admin, which is our global variable. Except, so if in any other case this doesn't work, we, for example, can't check or perform this program, we want to send to the server a string that will say can't perform the check. So this is basically it for the reverse shell. Now let us see if we have to code anything in our server side of the code in order for this to work properly. So Ctrl O to save this, Ctrl X to exit, and let us nano the server.py. So let us see what will happen once we send the check command. So check, we send that, it performs all of it as before, and then we get the result back, and then we print the result. So I don't think we have to add anything right here, we can just compile the shell. So let us go right here, we have the reverse shell right here. Let us compile it with our ICO file and also with our image. So Python 27 scripts PyInstaller .exe, we add the data, so dash add dash data, and then we specify the path to our image, which is root Python programs reverse and then dragon file right here. So also add right here the dot and comma and then dot. After that we want to add one file option, so one file, then no console, and also the icon which is in root downloads and then dragon wallpaper chinese.ico, or basically any icon that you used. We also want to specify the name of our shell, so reverse shell.py, and let us actually compile this into our program. Now remember that the reason why our image didn't open in the previous videos is actually because we forgot to specify the slash in front of our path with our image. Now I will show you what I mean in a second if you missed it. So .py. In order for image to open properly after we run the program, you need to have this slash right here. So without this slash it will not work, so make sure to have this slash once again. Then now let us actually use our USB, so I will plug it in. I will go to my this directory and I will move the reverse shell.exe into media, root and then Kali live. Then I will go one directory back and I will run my server in order to listen for the incoming connections. So let us unplug this USB drive. Let me check if we deleted the previous backdoor, so let me just enlarge this there. So we need to delete this backdoor.exe, and right now we should be good to go. Let us paste this on the desktop right here, and let us actually run the program. Right now it should open the picture, as we can see right here, all works properly, and then in a few seconds we should be getting the shell back. Then we will run our check function in order to see if we are administrator or in order to see if we are user. So shell is here, let us see if normal commands work. So ipconfig works, whoami works, arpmansa works, and right now let us type here check. What we get back is the user privileges. So right now we know that the user that ran our shell is an actual user account and not administrator account. Now let us close this. Let us make it just a little bit prettier before we end this video. Let me remove all the necessary files, or pardon me, all the unnecessary files. And let's make this string a little bit prettier. So admin and then let's add a plus, or pardon me, let's add a exclamation mark right here, user privileges, and here let's add the plus for the administrator privileges. So it looks just a little bit prettier. We can save this, and right now if you were to run this reverse shell as an administrator, you would get prompted back the administrator privileges after that command. So that would be about it for this video, where we checked out if we were user or the administrator account. We will make a help command in the next video. Basically what we will do is we will code a help command. When someone that is using our server actually types help, they get prompted all the available options currently that we have coded in our reverse shell. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye! Hello everybody and welcome back, and right now let us code a simple help command in our reverse shell. So open up your server first of all. Let's start off with the server part of the code, and right now let us see what we can get if we type here help. So if I just go on and make another if else statement. So let's make that if else statement right at the beginning. So else if command and then first 4 letters, since help has 4 letters, equals to help. What we want to do is actually receive from our reverse shell all the available commands. So what we want to do right here is basically or actually, you know what, we do not even need this, since we are actually receiving it right here. The reverse shell will send it back to us, so this code is not necessary at the moment. We will see if I was correct right after we finish the reverse shell. So save this. Now let's land on the reverse shell.py. And here we must add if the command equals to help. So let's go right here. Else if command equals to help, then 2 dots. What we want to do is create a string, so help underscore options, and let's make that string to be a multi-line string, so we can do that, I believe, with 3 So we can use 3 quotes right here in order to create a multiple line string. So let us see what are our available options currently. So download, let us add that first. So download, and then the download will equal to the, for example, let us create this arrow, download a file from target PC. Then we will have the upload right here. Let me just make it the same line. Let's go this back, one back, and let us set the upload to be upload a file to target PC. The next command we have will be the, for example, get. So get command. And that get command will actually be let me just see what the get command is. It is download file from specified URL. Okay, so download file to target from any website. So let us add here also get and then the URL, so users know that they need to specify the URL. And here path. So we need to specify the path, also right here path. And let us make this a little bit prettier so it is in the same line. The next command we have right here is the start, so we can actually use the start command as well. So start and then the path to the program, start program on target PC. For example, notepad, calculator, and all of the things that we started in the previous video. So screenshot, and we can set that we know what screenshot is. So screenshot, take a screenshot of target's monitor, for example. Let me see if we have anything else for now. The check will check if we are admin, and that should be it. So check. Check, and then we add this arrow right here, check for administrator privileges. So this is all of the commands. All we have to do right now here is close the 3 quotes, and this will become a multi-line, so 3 single quotes right here and 3 single quotes at the end, and this is a multi-line string. Now I'm not really sure how this will turn out in the receiving of this. We will see in just a second, but right now, before we actually compile this, we need to send this. So reliable send, and we need to send the help options. So this would be about it. I believe this is all the code we need. Once we send that, it will go back and try to receive other commands. So good. Let us save this. Let's compile it with the same command. Once we compile it, we standardly plug in our USB drive in order to transport it. Now if you want to transport it over Apache 2, it might be actually faster than with this USB drive plugging in and unplugging in, but however you want, you can do it. Let's see if this will work now. Now I will go to the dist, move reverse shell to the media root, and then Kali live, and then unplug the USB drive. Right now what I want to do is run our server. Let me open the USB file, and right now I will run the shell, but it will not open the picture since I didn't delete the registry and the command prompt path, but it doesn't even matter. However, we will receive the shell back. Just the picture or the image will not open. All we want to check out now is the help command and see if we get prompted our available options for using this reverse shell. So we get here the shell, we type here help, and we can see that we get all of the commands back. Now the only thing we have to change is we need to tab this. So we need to tab this to be the part of the string. We can tab it with basically just tabbing it like this. So let me just show you what we need to fix in order for this first part to also be in line with this other part. So how we can do that? Just copy this empty file, empty space right here. We can press here Q. We can nano the reverse shell.py. And right here all we have to do is actually add that space right here. Paste. Now this does look a little bit ugly, but this will fix the problem for us. So let us try once again. Let us compile the program. We will do this real fast. Plug in the USB drive. Let's close the one that is already running. And let us see if we fix the problem, so if everything is in line right now and if we can see our available options correctly. So this compiled, go to dist, move reverse shell to the media root, and then Kali live. Go one directory back, run the server, and let's see how this will work right now. It should work. Here we go, we run this, we wait for the connections to come back, and then we will run the help command once again, and we will finish the tutorial right here. And then for every, for example, option you add to the reverse shell, you want to also add it into the help options, so users of this server know what their available options are. So type here help, and we can see right now all our available options are printed out correctly. So help once again, you can see everything is good. We can now check out, for example, use one of these options, so check user privileges. We can also take screenshot if we wanted to. We can do anything we want. So that would be about it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye!